Hello everybody, it's Rama, and today I'm making this really cute project that was inspired by a Lori Marie Jenkins video. I'm going to be making paper doll puppets on a string, and I'm using these little they're actually Tim Holtz paper dolls, and I turned them into fairies. I gave them some wings, and being on a string lets them fly. So they're super cute, and I'm excited to show you this project today. So there's a lot of different layers of things that need to dry, so I'm working on two of these at the same time. So if you see me switch back and forth, that's why, but it is the same process. So all I'm doing here is I just wanted to make my frame a little bit thicker and sturdier, so I'm just adding some cardstock to the back of it. So I have my cardstock to make my frame a little sturdier, and I'm going to just glue that on. And I'm using some tacky glue to do this, so spread it around with my fingers here. And I just sort of use a putty knife to anything that you have, a credit card or something, to press down a little bit more, just to make sure this is really nice and flat and glued together. And then I'm going to move on to the paper doll and do the same thing. I'm going to just back her with some heavy cardstock. And here I'm just putting some glue dots on these wings because they're acetate, and you can see here I'm hesitating because I want to do her outline first. So I'm going to outline her body to back her with the cardstock. Usually when I make these videos, I do a little sample first so I know what I'm doing, and then I record myself, but today I was just kind of winging it, so if you see me hesitate, it's because I'm thinking about what I'm doing. Okay, so now what we're going to do is glue down the string, and we're going to glue that on the backing part that we just cut out. And I just use some quick dry tacky glue for that. You can really use whatever kind of string you have, but if you happen to have a waxed thread, that's the best thing I think to use. And I know a lot of people use those for binding in their journals. So here I'm just attaching her wings because I already put the glue dots on. And then I'm just going to glue her down to the backing. So I just sort of press and hold this a little bit and kind of squeeze at the edges to get the excess glue out. And then I clamp it down for a little bit because you want to make sure this is really nice and stuck together correctly. So while she's drying, I'm going to go back to my frame and do some inking around the edges. If you want, if you don't have ink, I even used some black marker or a black paint marker if you have it. Something to just sort of blend in those edges a bit more. And then I decided I wanted to kind of add something else to this frame. So I bring in some gold paint. It is the Treasure Gold by Folk Art. And I like working with the paint. You see here, I was thinking that I wanted to put the sealant on, and I decided to do some gold paint first. So I really like this paint because it dries really fast and it just adds a little something. You can use anything to seal this. You could use Mod Podge. I use it's called Diamond Painting Sealer. I use this a lot when I'm working with my Distress Oxides too. It kind of gives it a little bit of a shine and it gets rid of that chalkiness from the Distress Oxides. So now I'm putting the frame aside and I'm going to go back to the doll. And I wanted her to pop a little bit and be shiny, so I decided to use some glossy accents on her. So where the string attaches to the frame, I made actually rolled up some paper so it's kind of like a paper straw and just took a piece of it for the string to go through. And that's what I'm doing here. You can see this is another project that I'm working on, but I just wanted to show how I made the straw. Now the little black things that are in my fingers there is the paper straw. I just colored it and I'm just going to glue it to the frame now. So this is where the string is going to feed through on the top and the bottom. And I'm just making sure that that glue isn't gluing my straw holes shut. So here's the backing part of my frame, and I'm just going to cut it to allow room for the straw. And then we're going to glue this part down. And again, if you want to use some of your distress inks or black marker or even paint or just something that just sort of blends in those edges of the frame. So now here I have my doll. I have the string coming through my straws, and I'm just trying to figure out exactly where I want to place it for the backing. And there she can fly. So you can see in my pictures here that I used buttons at the end of my string. You could use beads or whatever you have. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. These were a lot of fun to make, and thank you so much for watching.